All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends for our monthly conversation or community conversation. That is so excited to be with you. I truly, truly mean it when I say I truly enjoy this kind of freestyle conversation. So we just talk about whatever. So let me see who is here. Truth Seeker, good to see you. As always, good morning, David. Ross is not here yet. Ross will be later on. So I saw drink mixture on TV supposed to help with weight loss. The mixture of lemon, ginger, cinnamon, and hot water. I like to know your opinion. Okay, I'll ask him when he's here. So he should have an idea about that one, but I don't think so. Dr. Stewart doesn't drink alcohol. So who else here? Marco. I'm sorry, Marco W. Good to see you. Who else here? Arcane, Electric. Good day to you as well. Good day to you as well. Okay, what we're gonna be chatting about today? I mean, basically, there is nothing specific. That's why I kind of make sure this conversation is for you guys. It's more of your questions, your sort of curiosity, and this is one thing about literally always sort of staying curious uh, because part of that curiosity it's what's gonna keep you wanting to learn more on a daily basis. So this is one thing some people make, by the time they acquire a higher degree, whatever, they said, okay, I'm done with the academic journey, education or learning journey, and that's it. No, learning never ends till your last day, because we will never acquire knowledge in its complete form, because there is always something to learn. And that's why I'm a believer of having that kind of curious mind, because a curious mind will always compel you to learn more on a daily basis. So and that's where also comes into the idea of taking responsibility for what you are learning and what you are learning about. So a lot of people get sucked into whatever the majority is just saying. No, you don't want that one. You don't want that. So uh, Omer Ali, you join us from Pakistan. So there's something going on in Pakistan, by the way, even though we're not going to talk about geopolitics, but there's something major going on behind closed doors with the government. I was made aware of it, by the way. So, Sarah Carroll, Sarah, good to see you. To those who do not know, you will not know who Sarah is anyway, but Sarah's been an avid supporter and still I remember Sarah from way back when she was support. She's still there. So I'm very, very grateful to have you here, Sarah, joining us. Kurt, good to see you, Kurt. Where are you joining us from, Kurt? I couldn't pinpoint exactly where. You don't have to disclose, guys, locations if you don't want to. Feel free, whatever you want. Who else? Elsa, good to see you, Elsa. And Karagion, watching from Germany. Oh my gosh. I wonder what part. Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Düsseldorf, Hamburg, Munich. So, anyway, as I said, Mondragon, happy weekend. Oh, watching from Philippines. Good to have you here. And tomorrow, make sure to join me tomorrow at 8:30 with Professor Anna Moundog. We will be talking about Philippines. There's some major changes coming up to that country. I am very concerned about what lies ahead for the Philippines. I'm really very, very, very concerned. So, who else is here? Francisco L. Good to see you as always. And Francis Tango. Good to see you, Francis Tango. Did you know about the incident in Amsterdam with the stabbing of the Ukrainian guy there that stabbed 5 people? That's sad. Sad to see. So yeah. All right, let me continue on what I was talking about. Those who missed the beginning of the conversation, I was just saying about how we can stay very, very curious, and one of way of staying curious is through learning on a daily basis. This is why learning doesn't stop, no matter what. No matter what, I don't care how many PhDs you have. Learning still, as a matter of fact, I do remember one time, what's his name? not the astrophysicist. He is a string theory specialist, Dr. Michio Kaku. So he was in England giving us some presentation or speech and so forth. And it was one kid that challenged him about you know, and I'm not a physicist, so I'm not qualified to even talk about this. All I remember is when he was talking about the different dimensional. So we live in a different dimensions or whatever. And that little kid said, Dr. Micho, do you know there might be even 11th dimension? And of course, Michio Kaku dismissed that because it's coming from a young kid, whatever. Then later on, he realized that that kid was right. He was right, and that's what I'm saying about the staying curious. And for you guys, for our community, you know, I do what I do here because I want to, you know, help you and help myself, because this for me too is a learning process. So I, you know, I'm learning as well. So there is one of the, and this where discipline comes in. Did you know the difference between someone who has a PhD and someone who doesn't? Not that the guy with the PhD is smarter or whatever. No, no. The only difference is that the guy with the PhD, he or she is very disciplined to see the project through, because PhD is a process. And whether you have a discipline or not, this is where the difference is. But as far as your mental capabilities, we all have it. It's just some of us use it more than others. Some of us are more curious about learning. Some of us are driven by that kind of curiosity. That's the only difference. So discipline, having personal discipline, and that applies not only to education, it applies to your health, for example. You know, if you are disciplined enough, you know that you could train your body, train your mind, that enough sugar for me for the day. I had a little bit of sugar for today, that's it. And the people who couldn't, because they don't have that discipline. So that's why I'm saying discipline. And if you can train yourself as you move on every aspect you do, it's very, very, very important. The other thing that I'm thinking about is about kindness. I don't know what prompted me to think about this one here. Just being kind, you know, it's kind of goes a long way. Goes a long way. That's just the way I think about certain things. So let me share one thing with you guys. I'm gonna share screen with you, and I wanted to show you. Oh, Noel, that's so kind of you, man. That is so kind of you, Noel. And by the way, guys, once again, you do not know who Noel is. Noel used support the channel from the get-go. I still remember. I still remember the financial support that he was providing the channel. So and the kindness and the kind words, and I can't thank you enough, Noel. Truly, truly appreciate you for that. So it means a lot, and I'm very, very grateful to that. So we have the new member here for Fuzroy, and I saw you yesterday. You were here, so good to have you here. So what I was going to say is I want to share before Dr. Stewart gets here and answers some of your questions. So let me share the screen with you. I know some of you always ask about what am I doing with the garden. So I'm gonna share it with you right here, guys, just to show you. Actually, I was working on it yesterday afternoon. I went ahead and after I did the live stream, and later on I just went and changed my gear and went ahead for so what I want to show you, just what I did yesterday, is I changed the there we go. So I went ahead and changed the dirts and all that stuff to get this ready and put the mulch and get it ready for this section here. There is another one here. This is it's already been planted on this side. I'm going to show you here, right here. There's this small fence here. So all this section here is potatoes. Those are fresh potatoes. And I don't know if you can notice whatever, but you start to see the leaves coming up here, growing. That's potato. So later on, I'll grow some other stuff on the other side, because this one is a little bigger. I have all this space, and you know, you don't need much. You need just a certain sections to do that one there. That is the one that's and this one I saved it for Dr. Stewart. Chronic liars, they twist the truth constantly. Since I'm going to stop sharing here. Since Dr. Stewart is a trained and licensed psychologist, you have a better understanding about this one. Milty Tom, good to see you. Iron Z, good to see you here. I was hoping to have the pictures of the. I know all Army with Harmony always ask about the Mustang, and I thought I had the pictures in, but it didn't come up here, so I don't know why. They might show up later. Let me see if I can send them, but it's okay. Life goes on. I had the picture on this one, but let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. All right, let me do one. A second here. And third. Okay. Let me mail it, and I'm going to see if it will show up. And if it is, I'll share it with you. Send. Okay. So I mailed it to myself, and we'll see if it shows up. So in the meantime, I'm going to look at for some basic questions from you guys. If you have any that I can answer for you, and we'll just go from there. So, and once again, this conversation is more about you guys than me here, because I just wanted to have this freestyle conversation with the community. It's very, very important. It's because we can think in terms of understanding as far as where are we going? Where are we going? To me, I do find satisfaction, literally, in connecting with you, and that's takes me to the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is this concept of happiness. How do we come about it? A lot of in our society, and I know this for a fact, and to my sort of the fellow Americans who are here on how we associate happiness with materialistic stuff. That ain't happiness, because happiness comes from within, not from things. Things can come and go, like money comes and goes, houses come and go, cars comes and goes, but it's from within whether you are happy or not. That's usually how. Fernanda, I want to say thank you so much, Fernanda, for your super sticker. Fernanda is another avid supporter. There are some of you guys, you do not know certain names, like Fernanda, for example, like Noel, like Amanda, behind the scenes. Sometimes you just won't, because either their schedule is so busy we don't see them on a regular basis, but Fernanda has been an avid supporter for the channel and continues to be. So I'm very grateful to you, Fernanda, for your support for the channel. So very, very grateful. So just to go back to my topic about happiness, or the theme I was mentioning, being, to me, I found really, really happiness when I get excited to know I'm going to be communicating with you and connecting with you. Of course, YouTube does what it does by limiting certain things, but you can waver from the truth. So, but again, that's the alternative we have right now. We don't know how things move forward. So, and within this happiness concept, lies the idea of the importance of time. I'm not getting philosophical on you guys today. It's just one of those, you start to think, when I go to bed, literally, I think about, okay, what am I doing here? What is my purpose? What have I done today for some other fellow human being? It doesn't matter. For me now, I have an sort of an objective, and that objective is our community. So there's always there is this goal right there, that what can you give to the community today? Knowledge, it's not measurable. You can measure knowledge, and that's, to me, what I found, at least for me, part of my excitement, part of my happiness, part of my having a purpose. This is why teaching is always crucial to me, and I will never give up on that, no matter what happens. So it's just where my heart is. And just sometimes you find that as you grow older, if you ask me, when I was in my 20s, did I ever think about teaching? I say you must be smoking weeds. Me teaching? Yeah, because when I was in my 20s, I was just traveling, basically, get a backpack and get lost somewhere. So I moved around a lot, traveling. So, but also because I wanted to learn from those experiences. Why? Because failure will be part. When you screw up something, you have to learn from it so you don't make the mistakes again. And that was, I always looked at the failure part is so crucial. It's so crucial for every success you achieve in life. It's like even when you fix something at home and you fail to do it the right way, it's because you either didn't acquire the necessary knowledge to understand how to fix the problem, or you just cut corners by saying, I want to do it fast and move on. And that, so that's, to me, in a nutshell, that is how I looked at it. So, and the idea with this comes that concept of, am I able to control everything in life? No, you can't. You can't. You can't. And why is this important, guys? Is because you have to go with life as a river flow. Just roll with it, like a flowing river. If you start to resist the current or go against the current, you will get nowhere. You will get nowhere. So I think Dr. Stewart is here. Let me go bring him here. And Dr. O, have you learned? Let me share this here quickly. Dr. O, have you learned a little Chinese yet? Just a little bit, very basic, this just hi, how are you, thank you, and so forth. But those are not enough to acquire, to carry on a conversation and so forth. So, Kelly, you're asking, are you Moroccan? Yeah, I was born in Morocco. So my family are from Europe. And my ancestors, you have to know the background of my family, my history, which they go back all the way to Sevilla, Spain, but also the traces are way back. Even I found some connections to Hawaii. How that? But yes, I was born in Morocco, lived there for a few years. Then once my parents deceased, I left for good. So. That's where. So let me bring Dr. Stewart here so we can have him answer some of your questions. Hello, Ross.
你好吗？我也很好。
It is Francis Tango. You can talk to Dr. Stewart. He'll speak Chinese to you. So. Let's start with one thing that I have in mind. And I saved even something I came across, and I wanted to get your pardon me, get your perspective on it. So let me get it out here, and I'll share it.
Okay.
It's geez, what is it now? Now that I need it, I can't find it. Yeah, right here. So okay. Let me share this with the screen with you guys, and I want to take I will have your assessment on it, Ross, especially the first title or the first thing. Right there, it says, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm going to read it just in case. It says, prioritize your mental and physical health. How important is this?
Oh my God, it's everything. If you don't make yourself your priority, you will pay a very dear price for that. And the tool that you have to express yourself in the world will be greatly diminished. It's the thing about put your seatbelt, put your air mask on in the plane first before you do your child, so you don't pass out. So if you're going to really have something to give and share with other people, you need to be healthy and you need to be on top of your game. And if you think that you're here to self-express something important in this life, your tool, which is your body and your mind, need to be in top shape. And making that a priority is imperative. So whoever said that, they got it right.
Yeah. So let's take
we're going to be talking about some things today that will make you more, that are mentally and physically the right things to do.
Okay.
What's number?
Yeah, why don't you elaborate on that more, Ross, while I'm looking at the key questions. Guys, if you have specific questions for Dr. Stewart, just type it in right now so we can ask him, because Dr. Stewart is also on a limited time. So we want to take advantage of him being here with us to share his knowledge. So
I'd like to share something with everyone that's the scientific new breakthroughs. 10 million people in the United States at minimum have cognitive decline, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease.
wow.
That's at minimum. Now, the formal diagnosis is more or less a sentence to decline, 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 and die. Science breakthrough, 1/3 of those people can now be restored to full function by the manipulation of two major neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine. 1/3 can be partially restored, and 1/3 can't be restored at all. This is truly exciting for people, for people who, they're the families of people who have dementia, cognitive decline, or Alzheimer's, because they get their family member back.
Mm.
And it's not even hard to do. We do an empirical test where, and it takes 3 weeks, and we know if we can help somebody or not.
Wow.
And doing this, what we do is we do a particular dosage of these dopamine builders. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we up the dosage. If that doesn't work, we do a third dosage. And if it made major improvements, 3 weeks we know. And the cost is minimal.
Yeah. And this has no connection to medication?
It's not medication. It's something that the Food Administration is calling medical foods. God bless them. So it's in a special category. It's not called nutrients. It's not called medicine. It's called medical food. I have to laugh about this. Only our government could think up something like this. There's only 3 products in the whole category of this. One of them is cherry juice. Cut me a break. Humor never stops. So what we have is real hope for people who were absolutely hopeless until now. How exciting can that be for people who are coming down with this, or people who have family members that they care about, that they'd like them to be fully who they are while they're here? How good is that? And that's a tip of a very exciting, to me professionally and personally, a very exciting field of study. We're now able to, almost with 100%, quite 100%, in the same period of time, assist people who have major anxiety disorder or have depression. They don't need to have anxiety or depression anymore.
Wow, interesting.
I'm working with a young woman right now who has severe periods, severe PMS. She's 20. She's in her mid-20s. She had it since she started her first period, and her symptoms were atrocious. She was paralyzed. She couldn't move for 2 days, and she had no endurance during the rest of the month. She was moody. She had depression. She had anxiety. 3 weeks in the program, it all went away. She's now regulated, and she can't stop smiling. So there's it's an enormous scientific breakthrough. We now have solutions to things that were complicated in the past, that are now relatively simple.
And on all this, is all this related to the food we consume?
Actually, it's marginally related. Now, do we want you to have a really good diet, a superior diet? Absolutely. That's you taking care of your body and your brain. But what we're finding is that environmental pollution, toxins, and a number of other really scary things going on in the world. Everyone has a toxic overload. The toxic overload hurts your brain and central nervous system.
What is that? What is that toxin overall?
Let me give you an example of something that I just recently found out.
Yeah.
When I was a child, they started doing underground testing for nuclear bombs.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It contaminated all the soil in North America with radioactive material. Now, that's not well broadcast with good reason,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still the truth. So we have horrible radioactivity in our soil, which was never present before. Now, if you live here, what that means is you get it. But where else is it prevalent? Well, certainly Asia. They got really blasted. The former Soviet Union did a lot of underground testing. So
Yeah.
they've wiped out Central Asia. They've wiped, and if it blew into Europe, so what we're looking at is radioactivity has profoundly affected human beings. And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing so many health problems. It's not the only one, but boy, is that a major contributor. So what we're doing is we're playing catch up. So what do we do with all these health issues, all the way from PMS to Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety? We're even treating schizophrenia with this program successfully because it's not what people think it is. My mother was bad and my father was awful and they whatever.
Yeah.
Well, when we can regulate the serotonin and dopamine so that their symptoms are managed and they don't act crazy anymore. Wow. How exciting is that?
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it every day. And we know we live in a time in history with the current political system. It's going through massive changes, and people seem really open to change.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're looking at this medical foods phenomena, and what used to be resistance,
Mm-hmm.
people seem wide open to it. They're looking for real solutions, not a runaround where, well, maybe it'll work and maybe it won't, and there's all these terrible side effects. Because you go into any of these prescription medications for PMS or for depression or anxiety or schizophrenia, the side effects are dreadful. With this medical foods program, there's no side effects. It actually, the ingredients of the medical foods program actually are food, but they're highly concentrated.
Concentrated, yeah.
And here's a joke that I tell myself. You can get all the ingredients from these medical foods if you're willing to eat 37 raw egg yolks every day. No one in their right mind is going to eat 37 raw egg yolks.
Yeah.
Or 33 ounces of raw hamburger. So it's not like it's impossible, although it might be actually, because your digestive system cannot tolerate that much raw meat or that many raw egg yolks. But the point is, we now have a scientifically validated method of dealing with issues that appear to be one thing, but are really something else. They're really the dysregulation of major systems based on insufficient serotonin and dopamine, which are the two major neurotransmitters. They regulate all the other neurotransmitters. By the way, there are 183 of them, different ones in the central nervous system. Wow. So this is a very exciting time for any number of people who really want their symptoms managed. So we don't know that it's a cure, but what we know is we can manage the symptoms because the brain and central nervous system are now damaged due to environmental poisons.
Well, if people can literally educate themselves. I mean, you have to force yourself to learn about what's good for you, what's not good for you. Government's not going to do it. I never trust the government anyway. I mean, I look at it with the example of eggs, like you mentioned, eggs. Usually I'll do about 3 eggs a day.
Yes, that's right.
Day. That's normal for me. In addition to some form of meat that is grass-fed and be that whatever that might be.
Yes.
But as far as the eggs, even when I was in China, I will buy the equivalency of pancakes for us here, but they make them in China. They make the stuff fresh. So, and I asked the lady, instead of putting pork, I told her, "Can you put 4 eggs for me?" Yeah, I'd asked her 4 eggs. She was a little bit surprised, but I say I don't. I put the translator and told her, because I don't eat pork, but I will have 4 eggs, and it's just the idea of how important eggs are as a simple thing. The other thing that I used to do is I used to take iodine with me.
That's real. If it were traveling worldwide, that's a really smart idea.
As a matter of fact, bamboo. I saw your statement, right? You had something you wrote about iodine, which is very important. A lot of people do not know much about. Well, I had to learn about it before. I wasn't aware of it 15 years ago. I'll admit it. So then it started to dawn on me that iodine would be very, very good. So it's all about the type of food that we consume, and this is why my concern, Ross, you know what my concern now is, that the younger generation here are experiencing some sort of diseases that usually I would have never heard of that at that stage.
Absolutely true. You take a look at childhood cancer.
Yeah.
In 1900, the number of cases was 0. What? The first documented cases of adult cardiovascular disease was 1937. Now it's an epidemic. And you hear of bypass surgery, and you hear of all these stents put in and all these things. This is a new phenomenon based on the quality of food selection. So if you're going to load up on bread and pasta and a lot of short chain carbohydrates such as oatmeal and so on, you're causing so much inflammation in your system that your body's liver responds by sending plaque to heal the wounds in your arteries. You're going, well, that sounds like a good thing. Well, it's good that your liver's doing that, or you might bleed out. But it's not good that you have to do it because your diet is so bad. And so eating bread with every meal is a really poor idea.
It's bad. Just to share with the community, I want to share this with you guys. I haven't eaten bread now for 30 days.
Nice.
Yeah, 30 days.
So, do you miss it?
No.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Not at all. Because what I'll do is I'll do the homemade French fries.
Yeah.
Because I cook them in a special fat oil or with avocado oil. That's the difference. Then a piece of steak, and that's it. And maybe soup if I am hungry or not. But as far as bread, no, I don't have that one.
You were talking about iodine.
Yeah.
And here's a really good clue for foreign travel. Because when you go to any other country, you're going to be exposed to a whole lot of pathogens that the local population is used to.
Yeah.
But you're not. And so what do you do to prevent yourself from getting diarrhea or some other terrible thing?
Yeah.
Well, every time you eat a meal in another country or eat food, you take a small amount of iodine. The iodine kills the pathogens in that food. Now, if you really want to be safe, what you do is you take a supplement that has hydrochloric acid. And there are a couple of really nice brands. And you take 1 or 2 of those every time you eat. And I've been recommending this for years. And I have friends who say, well, I went to India and I was with a group of people and I followed your advice and I was there for 3 weeks and I never got sick, but everyone around me did. Yeah, well, that's not a surprise. There are things that you can do to make sure that you're well and really enjoy the trip. I've got an upcoming trip to Asia, and I'm taking hydrochloric acid, and I'm taking iodine. And every time I eat something, they start the meal.
Very interesting.
I'm going because I want to enjoy it, not be sick.
Yeah. Let's take a question from Ramples01, an avid supporter of the channel. Good to have you here. Here's a question. What about Alzheimer's and dementia? I am forgetting a lot lately. I'm very worried.
As well, you should be. How old are you?
Yeah, I don't know if,
It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
Ramples01, if you want to just put a
Here's the
rough
thing, because no matter how
number.
old you are, you're starting
Yeah.
to show the first signs of cognitive decline. Now, can we stop that? Yes. Can we restore it? Most we can to bring you back to full function. The tragedy is once these things start, it's a winding down to 63. This
Yeah.
is the perfect age to start doing something about it. And so for a very small amount of money, I can tell you exactly what to do. And you do it, and within 3 weeks, chances are your memory will be restored. And because of something called glutathione, which I'll be happy to explain, we can prevent this from going any further. So however bad the symptom is right now, we can dead stop it. And chances are, with the introduction of the two major neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, we can restore your memory. I'm considerably older than you, and I don't have a memory problem. Matter of fact, I don't have any problems at all.
Great. Let's
And
say
I feel like I'm in the middle of my career. I'm so excited about what's going on.
because you have a curious mind. Funny, before you came in, I was talking to the community about curiosity, which leads you to learn more.
Yes.
Let me say thank you to Francis Tango, as always, for appreciate your support for the channel, and happy Eid Fitr to all. Peace to all people, because Ramadan ends today officially, and tomorrow is the first holiday. Thank you, Francis. Truly appreciate you. Now, here is something I want to ask you, Ross. Has to do with, for example, what Ramples01 mentioned about dementia and so forth. We noticing some rising in chronic diseases among the young generation, up to including Parkinson's, of some other sort of the. I don't like to use the term diseases, conditions.
Yeah, conditions is a good way to talk about it.
Disease is such a negative word.
Yes.
So why is that? Why is this increase among young generations?
Well, I'll give you a couple of examples. I spent time with Colin Campbell. He wrote something called the China Study. I spent 2 days with him. And he was part of a blue ribbon panel put together by the federal government to study the food pyramid. What should you eat and what should you eat a lot of and what you should eat tiny amounts of.
Yeah.
And he put together, and they had about 12 people in this panel. And they said, what should you eat? Mostly you should eat vegetables and protein. So a wide variety of vegetables, fish, eggs, beef, pork, whatever, and a very small amount of fruit because of the fructose sugar in it, very small amounts of oil other than coconut oil, what was the one, avocado oil, and butter, which he really liked, and almost no bread, candy, anything sugary, anything that has a short chain carbohydrate, because he said the research is so clear with over 100,000 people in the study that those things are bad for you. They bring on all kinds of degenerative diseases. So then what happened was they sent the report in on Friday night to the agriculture department. On Saturday morning, everyone on that committee received a federal injunction saying that they weren't allowed to publish those results. And what the agriculture department is turned the pyramid upside down and said, load up with bread, load up with spaghetti. And then at the top was eat a small amount of vegetables and meat. Going, he resigned instantly in outrage.
Yeah.
And so people think here's where it starts. What did mom eat during the pregnancy? Because if you don't start off healthy, because mom ate really well and took the right smart supplements, the child is not going to be fully formed. In primitive societies, when women were of childbearing age, they got the organ meats. They got the best selection of everything, because these primitive people knew that if the mom had superior nutrition, the child would have come out with a much healthier body. Well, somehow we lost that when we turned our power over to the governments, that you tell us how to do it and we'll do it. Forget that.
Wow.
So now we have children that are not as healthy as they could be. And then then are they breastfed? Well, typically they get formula, which isn't anywhere close to breast milk. And then they're given ice cream, they're given Cheerios, they're given foods that no human being should ever touch, because they're just bad for you. I'm a certified teacher and used to work in elementary schools. And it's so easy to tell children who had had a bad breakfast or no breakfast at all, because at 10:30 in the morning, they faded out. And there was no bringing them back. Their blood sugar was so bad that they couldn't pay attention. And then it became behavior problems. So now we have malnutrition stacked. Mom didn't eat well during the pregnancy. Now the child's not eating well, or not eating anything for breakfast. So what should they eat? Well, they should have, I liked your idea, steak and eggs.
Yeah, that's always the best. That's always the
Well,
best.
I'll tell you, it really sets you up for a good day.
Yeah. Well, that's how I've been doing it for a while. So, and I remember when I was in China, because I walked a lot. I really
yeah,
walked
I'll bet
a
you
lot.
did.
Actually, I dropped a lot of weight when I came back here. So, what I noticed was they just didn't see fat people. When I say fat, meaning overweight.
Yeah.
Overweight, not in a good way. It's sometimes some of us have a large frame, and this is nothing wrong with that. But when you see some, I haven't seen that in China. Why? Because they also walk everywhere, beside the fast speed trains and all that stuff. We're talking about in the city. They are not just sitting around, and they have the bicycles on the sidewalks, and it's just very, very active. And you think about the food. Well, the food is cooked right there. That's why I ate sometimes in the street, because I like that one, and it's cooked in front of me. It's very healthy, very nice.
Yes.
And didn't bother me. It didn't get sick, by the way, at all.
Oh, that's really good.
At all.
Funny story for you, David.
Yeah.
College, two Chinese professors at the local university, and I took them to the Irish Fest here in our city.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple there that together, these two people weighed 700 pounds.
Wow.
And these Chinese people looked at these fat people and their mouths fell open. It's like they'd never seen anything like that.
Something like that.
It was, and then they turned their back and started each other in Mandarin about, my God, can you believe that's a human being, not a whale? They're going,
wow.
Because they'd never seen fat people. Just to reinforcing what you said.
Yeah.
And then you see how many children. How many fat children you see now?
A lot.
When I was a child, I knew a fat child. One. I knew one fat child. The rest of us were all skinny.
Yeah. It's very, very different.
And of course, we ate real food, and we didn't even have a television. So of course, we didn't have computers. We didn't sit around all day. We went outside and played, which is another real big missing piece for our young people and for everybody. You take a look at these statistics, and as you age, in addition to eating well, what's the number one thing you can do? Weightlifting, not even walking. Walking has a small correlation statistic for living longer, but weightlifting has a dramatic impact on how long you live. because it's not endurance anymore. It's, do you have the muscles to hold you up? And so weightlifting is a really good idea for people throughout their lifetime. So it's another important consideration.
Okay. I'll get one other question before I let you go, Ross.
Okay.
Question from Francis Tango. What should you do if you have to go to the toilet too often? For example, 3 or 4 times a day?
Well, it depends what's really going on.
Yeah.
This is formally called dysbiosis, and you should be going to the bathroom between 7 and 8 in the morning one time.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's loose bowels in between, it's because the floral bacteria in your small intestines is now in an unhealthy state. There are a couple of things to start doing if you can. If you can purchase raw sauerkraut, have a small amount of that every day. If you can get raw kimchi, have a small amount of that every day. Because it's more complicated than it seems, but what happens is if you're going to avoid dysbiosis, you need to be replenishing the floral bacteria in your intestines on an everyday basis, because they die off. They're when you defecate, too many of them come out. Or if you've been on antibiotics, they kill entire strains of these really helpful floral bacteria. You should have about 1,500 varieties of critters that live in your small intestines. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they take the raw food and they digest it, and their byproduct is what we consume. They break it down for us, and that's what goes into our blood system and feeds every cell in our body. Mm-hmm. So this person they're dumping too much of the good food that's going through them because it's happening too fast. So they're actually probably starting to starve on a cellular level. That's a bad thing.
Speaking of, you mentioned kimchi, and I just want to share this with the community. I do 1 tablespoon every day before I eat of kimchi.
That's
every day.
Yes,
every day. I've been doing it for quite a while now, and the pure mixed of cabbage, and I mix it at home, the good quality. I know the Koreans have a good kimchi. When I was in China, there was some Korean restaurants, and I asked, I didn't eat there, but I asked, the kimchi is very good. But it is a question here. Do water from Sertrude Ochoa. Do water therapies use turmeric? Oh, this is no. That's an answer to someone who asked about something, and the answer
turmeric is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. Mm-hmm. And so you take enough of that stuff, and things like the pains in your joints, like in your hands,
goes away.
It goes. Yeah, that's exactly right, David. It goes away. Or other kinds of aches and pains in your body seem to magically disappear, but it's not magic at all. It's these things have major anti-inflammatory properties. Yes, so turmeric on an everyday basis is a great idea. Now, you can't eat turmeric to get that result because it's too hard to digest and it's too hard to convert. There are a number of really good turmeric products out there that'll give you as much as 1,000 times more active ingredients than eating raw turmeric or cooked turmeric, either one. So
I usually
it's a great idea.
Yeah, I usually mix it with black pepper, and I think I add something to cumin. And I never had turmeric by itself, because I put it on my soup, sometimes on eggs or whatever. But I'll add black pepper and I'll add cumin, grinded cumin, the good quality, and
good
it never bothered me at all. So it's kind of
right.
Yeah, sauerkraut. So, all right. Well, we'll let last word, Ross, before I let you go. Any words of wisdoms?
In terms of mental and physical health. This medical foods program is the most exciting thing I've seen in my whole entire long career. And any number of things that you think are something else, it's really a problem with serotonin and dopamine, the two major neurotransmitters. And so this is the place to look before you look anyplace else. It has a good direct result and no side effects. And any number of people get off all their other supplements and all their medications to be on this medical foods program. Very exciting time.
Very, very interesting one. Well, we can't thank you enough for carving out time for us here just to share this knowledge. As a matter of fact, I saw a comment, someone asking, can Dr. Stewart come here twice a month? I was like, he's busy. He's busy. He was just...
I'm really very busy.
Yeah,
We are a
it's
major
kind
research
enough.
project.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Anyway.
we'll see next time. Well, you and I will coordinate, see if you have some free time, and we'd love to have you again here.
Thank you.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Yeah, just, Dr. Stewart is kind of, he's doing research. He has his own patients and all that stuff. And interesting enough, and I'll share this with you because it's nothing. I'm not disclosing something I'm not supposed to, but that his people he's helping and from around the world. Yeah, from around the world. So they kind of realized the knowledge he has, and he's doing it through a program with them, so helping them. Yeah, of course, some of them, those are some, they can afford it basically, but they decided to go that route instead of medication and doctors and all that stuff. So he's so knowledgeable, and that's when I asked him, and he said, "Sure, I'll be happy to come over." Amanda, good to see you here. I saw you earlier, but when it started, you weren't here. So good to see you, Amanda. So that is my just what I wanted to share with you. The idea of, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't eat bread for 30 days. Literally, I feel fine. So, but do you think about, and it was you, Bamboo. It was you that I saw you comment about you like bread. I understand. I was the same way when I was in my 20s and so forth. And I used to eat a lot. Anytime I would go to Paris, because my family was in Paris, and French pastry and all that stuff, that was my thing. But now you start to realize, no, you can't do that. Because here's the key, at least for us here in the United States. If you want to eat bread, or even if you are whatever part of the world, look for sprouted grains. Sprouted bread. Like, for example, what's the and I'll draw a blank on the name of the type of bread. I couldn't think of it. Anyway, those are the type of. Now you can eat that bread, but only you eat, 1-2 slices a day, and that's it. On the other hand, you avoid. You all remember when I did one time shared with you about some pasta. It was an avid supporter of the channel who sent me pasta right here. As a matter of fact, I wish I had it close by. I'll share it with you. And I ate that pasta he sent me. It's nothing like what you have on the shelves. And I wouldn't even touch the ones on the shelves because I don't eat pasta on the shelves. I ate that one once to try it. It was incredible because it doesn't have the same ingredients that the regular pasta does. So for bread, if you can discipline yourself by starting to psychologically limit the intake of the portions of the bread, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, but just start do it slowly, one step at a time, and you'll see the difference, and it will do you good, because too much bread and too much carbohydrates creates inflammation. That is the problem we have in this society here, and of course it's by design, because if the big pharma, the big agricultural industry, the meat industry, the sugar industry, all of that stuff. And yes, of course, it starts with your gut. If your gut is healthy, you will be fine. But to make your gut healthy, you have to eat the right stuff. And you have to sleep, and you have to really, really take a good care of yourself physically. Because I'm a believer, guys. I'm a believer that your health is your best asset. Like I always say, Materialistic stuff, money, cars, houses, whatever, can come and goes. The moment you lose your health is over. This is one thing. You need to be aware of this. And I can't stress this enough. So, oh, Irene, thank you so much for your super sticker. You put salam, peace, and it's all blessing to be in your stream. Thank you for all you do. Love the chat as well. And great people. Surprisingly, knows your weeds. How do you do that? I see what you mean. So thank you so much, Irene. Truly appreciate you for your super sticker for that. So, and I saw one here, statements. You have earned your following, David, a healthy, positive aspect to life built in with experience. We are lucky to benefit from it. So, oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. Because like I always say, and I mean it when I say, you guys know me by now, I don't sugarcoat things, you know. The community means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. And that is why one of the things I am hoping that people who comes and watch once, they can share the channel with others, ask them to subscribe, because that's how we grow the community on a worldwide scale. We are already getting there. So, I mean, literally, I was shocked and surprised last time I was in Hong Kong, just walking in a mall to cross over another, and somebody just looks at me and said, Dr. O. I mean, whoever thought? It happens once to me in the Middle East or West Asia, that is. And for that one was different because there's a concern in that region of kidnapping and all that stuff, which I was aware of. But for something like this in Hong Kong, somebody just ran to me coincidentally. So he said, I know your channel. I follow your channel. That was Charles. Incredible. So, and that's what I'm saying. And to me, it's a privilege to be part of this community. Literally, because I consider myself part of the community. You know, it's not all revolve around me. No. It goes both ways, because I am here to learn from you as well. Each one of you has something to share. Each one of you has some knowledge to share. So we learn from each other. This is what that curious mind is all about. This is not about me talking to you. No, it's the other way around also. So, and of course, that's why we have to watch for each other as far as who is in the community. You know, I mean, a few months ago, I would not hold my tongue regarding if somebody starts to act up per se. Why? Because it's my responsibility to protect the community, and I will do whatever it needs to be done. That's how I look at it. So, because there is one thing I always believe in, just to comment one more time on this, and I'll move on. You know, respect is earned, is not given. It's not given. You guys have earned my respect. You know why? Because you conduct yourself in a manner that is really reflecting on you, on your level, on your whatever it might be, and reflecting on our community. So respect is earned. It's not given. And I'm a believer of that. So this is how I see the idea of why I like these conversations here on a monthly basis. So because it's very good. Very good. That's how we get to learn more about each other. So how things move forward, nobody knows. We live the day as it comes. And I don't usually, yes, you plan and all that stuff, but you live the day as it comes, because that's more important. So that's more important. So, Army with Harmony, you are most welcome. You are most welcome. Let me see. I'm just seeing some comments here that will be of use to you that I can share with you guys. And I'm gonna go finish working in the backyard and ensure to turn the soil again, because it rained yesterday or the day before. So I need to turn the soil once again and prepare it for some other type of veggies gonna plant, because I don't buy from outside much. You know, this is why the problem we have right now here, they are trying to clamp down on chickens inside the homes when people have chickens and all that stuff. Yeah, believe it or not, they're trying to do that. So because now a cart of a dozen of chicken is like about $13-14. So I don't remember last time I bought eggs, because we have them right here at home. So that's how I see it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna sign off here. I'm gonna go do some work. Then prepare. Remember, by the way, remember to join me tonight at 7:30 with Carl Za. So I'll be talking with him. Then tomorrow I will be having my conversation with Professor Anna Mandak about the Philippines, what lies ahead for the Philippines. And again, what I sort of predicted and saw over the horizon few months ago. I mean, I'm going about 15 months ago, so it's becoming a reality. So, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Multi Tom Tom, money is the number one worry. That is correct for so many. That is correct. I agree with you, because I was sometimes I didn't have money, and remember the whole reason when my parents, both of them died. So that's it. That's one of the reasons why I left for good. I knew I would never go back, and it's just the way it is. But money worries, but also forced me to learn about money, to learn about finance. So yeah, that's why I say curious minds will open up a lot of doors for you guys. So anyway, guys, wishing you a good rest of the day, whatever part of the world you're in. Once again, I want to say thank you to all the super stickers from Noel. Once again, thank you so much. Fernanda, thank you so much. I am very, very grateful. Francis Tango, as always. And Irene, much appreciate you, Irene, for your kind support to all of you and to all our community. So I understand how it works. Remember, I am going to be going to Asia, hopefully, if things works out. And we are moving, by the way, I give quickly, if you allow me, guys, just to say thank you to Hanging G for buying me 10 cups of tea in support of my upcoming Asia trip. So here is where we are. We crossed now $1,200. So we are 11% on this. So it's moving in the time. So when that time happens. So anyway, guys, wishing you a good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you are in. And I look forward to seeing you this evening at 7:30 my time. Take care, guys. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.